Hey everyone, History Mystery Man back with you again. Good to see you again, and happy holidays to all. You know, when I think of the holiday season, I think of home. For me, that's been Toledo, Ohio, where I was born and raised. But for the last 25 years, my home has been here in Sylvania, Ohio, a Toledo, Ohio western suburb, small town America. I absolutely love it. Sylvania was first platted in 1836, so the place is loaded with history, but it's not just about the history, it's about what's going on today. Today, on Main Street, Sylvania, Ohio, this place is absolutely magical, so well preserved, so historic. The store owners are thriving. Just 2 blocks, that's all you get in downtown Sylvania. All it does is leave you yearning for more. Welcome to Sylvania, Ohio, kind of like Pennsylvania without the pen. This place is absolutely charming. You've got to see it. Welcome aboard. Let's go see what's inside. Welcome to the Space Bar, and quite fortunately they are open. Check this space out. This is absolutely awesome. So cool. So when I saw the name Space Bar, I thought I was going to a bar, but this isn't a bar at all, is it? What exactly is it? What is the Space Bar?
Space Bar is an IT consultation firm. Basically what we do is we consult home users and also small businesses.
And why did you choose Sylvania, Ohio to move forward with this venture?
I think Sylvania is a perfect population for me. I mean, it's just small enough, but close enough for everybody, and I love the arts community that is going on in downtown Sylvania.
Yeah, how's the business going?
Business is doing good. Yeah, we right now have expanded. We now have about 7, 8 people working for us. Not in shop, but they're all independent contractors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is small town America alive and well?
Absolutely.
Does it have hope for the future?
Absolutely, I believe so. So right now we have a lot of small little businesses that open, like next door. This guy just decides that he's just gonna, a leap of faith and start selling shoes, and he's doing pretty well.
That's so wonderful to hear. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Malaysia. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you get back often?
Actually, I'm planning on going back this Chinese New Year, which happens to be the February of 2019.
How long you been in America?
About 14 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Culture shock?
In the beginning, in the beginning for sure.
Are you in the groove now?
I like to think so. Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for taking some time to chat with me. The Space Bar, this place is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, look around, and the Wahl is dedicated to artists, so every month we have different artists that
that's interesting.
Feature their work on the wall.
Because I know there's artists up and down Main Street here, an art studio next door, and Hudson Gallery down the street.
So first Friday of the month, we have this thing called Redbird, which is like an art district, pop-up art gallery, like me including. We'll just give our space out and have certain artists come in and feature their work.
Give my best to your family and friends in Malaysia.
Thank you. Thank you so much
for
coming
America.
in.
14 years in, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
On February 5th, 1930, notorious bank robber and gangster Pretty Boy Floyd robbed the key bank you see right behind me at the corner of Monroe and Main Street. It was the Farmers and Merchants Bank back then, but it was the same building. Sources from the day say Pretty Boy and his accomplices got a shave and a haircut right across the street at Pop Green's barbershop before they robbed the bank. They made off with less than $2,000, and Pretty Boy was eventually convicted for the crime.
Every Main Street needs an art gallery. Welcome to the Fuller Art House. Really nice. This place is beautiful. Hardwood floors. The building, no doubt, goes back to either the late 1800s or the very early 1900s. Original tin ceilings. Isn't that cool? But this place is beautiful. I love hardwood floors. You got them here. What's your story? I mean, is this been your dream to have your own art studio? What's this mean for you?
No, it's not my dream.
No? I'll bet that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah. No,
Is this an accident then? How did it happen?
Total accident.
Really?
Yes.
Well, tell me about the accident.
Well, because I always identified as an artist. My degree is in illustration. I was a freelance artist in Chicago for about 12 years.
That's interesting. Where did you go to school?
I went to the American Academy of Art in downtown Chicago.
Oh, how interesting.
Did the whole balancing of 3 jobs and living the dream as a freelance artist and being in the city and living downtown. I took a job here in Toledo as a creative art director for a foundation who wanted to open up a gallery. Yet that it was part of my job, I went along with it, and it was here, so I was the curator and director of the gallery. And then I kind of learned, wow, as an artist, this really opens up a lot of doors to have a storefront and to be able to promote what your mission is and your purpose. So when they decided to sell, I took it on as a great opportunity to just slide right in. So now I am the owner of the gallery and running it and sharing my purpose and sharing my mission and getting my voice out there, and I actually rather enjoy it. So that's my story.
That's a fascinating story. Yeah. I like the accident that you stumbled upon.
But we have actually 2 amazing fine art galleries right here in downtown Sylvania. So working very hard to see this as a destination for the arts.
Well, does small town America have hope for survival? I mean, I'm fascinated by small towns, the charm, the personality. I love them. And I have a special connection to Sylvania because I'm from this area.
Yeah.
But do you think they'll survive and thrive, or the
big
superstore is going to eat us all up?
Yeah, well, it's not even the stores; it's online shopping and Amazon, and so I think as long as you keep up with the times. I mean, we don't write letters anymore; we text. So as long as we're figuring out different ways to promote our businesses, and maybe on more of a national level, and using our websites to generate more traffic, I think we'll be okay, but we'll have to see.
You know, if I had a small business, though, I'd want it to be in a place like this on Main Street in downtown Sylvania. This place, to me, is exceptionally charming, this 2-block area. What is it for you?
No, I love it. I talk about that all the time. The things that we can get away with in terms of our art walks and our little festivals and our local music festivals that we have down here, you really couldn't do that if this town was much larger. I think that the fact that it's intimate really draws an interesting crowd and really makes you feel like you're a part of something that you might get kind of lost in if you were in a bigger town, or I can't imagine running art walks in downtown Chicago. I don't think it would have worked. So I think we have something very unique.
Yeah, and I've got to believe you feel safe in downtown Sylvania, yes?
Oh, definitely, I feel safe. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Are any of these works yours on the wall, or?
Not currently, no. 2019's that's my next step. 2018, I learned how to run a business. So 2019, I will get back to being an artist and try to figure out, well, maybe 2019
that's
will be
interesting.
about balancing both.
You had to stop being an artist to learn how to be a businesswoman.
This is true, and I actually hate being a businesswoman, so I'm going to go back to doing the art.
But you had to go through those necessary steps to keep yourself in the game. Well, you have a beautiful art studio, it really is, and I hope small town America discovers you here.
Thank you very much.
This is a wonderful space, and I love being in it.
Thank you.
Just south of downtown Sylvania on Main Street is the Lathrop House. In the 1850s, 60s, and 70s, this was the home of Lucian and Larissa Lathrop. They were abolitionists, part of the Underground Railroad, a system of loosely connected safe havens for runaway slaves. And at great risk, Lucian and Larissa hid slaves in the cellar of that home. In the cellar, there was this oven door, what appeared to be an oven door, but it actually led to a secret room where runaway slaves would hide before they were eventually routed up into their freedom, up into Canada. But with the fugitive slave law in play in 1850, Lucian and Larissa not only risked great fines, but they risked their own freedom to help people they did not even know.
The Lathrops dedicated themselves to the good cause in accordance with a tradition of personal sacrifice and a belief in a God that embraces everyone. In 1842, a hotel was built here. The hotel changed hands several times over the years and was the Hotel Victor in the early 1900s. But unfortunately, the original building burnt down in 1915 and has since been rebuilt, changing hands with several different businesses over the year. Currently, it's inside the 5. Now, isn't that interesting? Let's go check it out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, both myself and business partner, we both play the football in NFL.
And as a punter, hence the name Inside the 5, is that the deal?
Yeah, so we wanted something that kind of tied to both our pasts. So as a punter, kind of the best I could do, or what I shot for every time I went out in the field, was to pin the opposing team inside the 5-yard line. So we took that as kind of our mantra in terms of our beer, our food, our service. We want everything to be inside the 5.
Why did you come to small town Sylvania, Ohio to start your business?
This is where I grew up at. I mean,
Okay.
this is where
So
I
you're
was
from here?
Yeah, both myself and my wife, all our family is still in town, so came here to be back with our family.
How's the business going?
Really well.
Yeah?
The response from the community's been great.
I don't see that happening.
This is fun. I enjoy making beer, stuff like that, and sharing it with everybody, so that's what I wanted to do.
And you have a lot of your own homemade homebrew, yes?
Yes, most of these beers on the board or we have on draft either started as home brews or we've kind of made in-house as we go along.
It's interesting, after having a successful career in the NFL, that you would choose to come back to your hometown. I think that's really, really spectacular. How do you like Sylvania?
Love it. I mean, it's a great place to settle down, raise a family. Obviously, I've been here, when I was a kid, grew up here, stuff like that, so I want to come back.
Is small town America going to survive?
Of course.
Yeah, I like hearing that. Thank you so much for your time. All the best here.
Well, enjoy. Sit down and have a couple beers.
Yeah, you must be mixing the yeast and the hops just right or something around here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to Element 112 in downtown Sylvania, a really nice restaurant, more on the upscale side. Now, what's interesting to me about this space is what used to be here. Sylvania's Central High School, built just after the Civil War in the late 1860s. This building held high school classes up through 1926 when the Burnham building was finally built. But can you imagine? Look at this place, how beautiful, all the personality, charm, and character, complete with a bell tower. Unfortunately, the building was demolished in 1937, but what Sylvania wouldn't give to have this one back? One of my favorite buildings in downtown Sylvania is the A.R. Chandler building. It used to be a hardware store. The original building burnt down on this site in 1895, but A.R. Chandler and his wife Julia built this building shortly thereafter and had a very successful hardware business here. A.R. Chandler worked in the store up till 1947, and then his sons operated the hardware store up into the 1970s. Today, the building has been reborn as the Chandler Cafe, and it's absolutely spectacular. Look at this place, isn't it beautiful? All the exposed brick and loads of character. This place is, we're the day after Christmas, and this place is absolutely hopping. Check it out.
course, as are the tin ceilings in Chandler Hardware. So I'm right on the edge of Sylvania's historical district and came across this. Look at this beautiful little home. In fact, it used to be someone's home in the early 1900s. It's now the Village Candy Shop. Isn't it absolutely spectacular? You just want to go inside when you come here. And that's exactly what we're going to do because they're open. How interesting is this?
Go out and trade places with the crowd watching.
I won't keep you long at all, I promise. But I absolutely love your store.
Thank
and
you.
wondering how long you've been at it here.
I opened the 1st of February of this year.
Of 2018.
So just almost a year now. Been here in the village.
So what was this, or is this for you? Was this a dream you had tucked away that you wanted to one day open up a little candy store in Sylvania, Ohio?
And, but I'm from the area, and my kids grew up here in Sylvania. They had an ice cream shop to grow up with, and lots of small town activities. And then the village changed, and it was more business, commercial business and office businesses. And lately it's been switching back over to retail and small town feel. And I remembered my childhood with all the little candy shops and decided that this would be a good thing for Sylvania. And I was looking just for something to do here in my retirement years. And it just felt like a good fit for the families.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the biggest small town fan in America, or one of them. I want to see small towns survive. I want to bring people back to small town America because it's so charming here. Your thoughts on Sylvania overall? I mean, I think it's a wonderful little downtown area.
I agree, and the community feels the same way. The young people that are they're moving back with their families after
That's
having
so
been
cool.
in the big cities, and they're coming back, looking for jobs here, looking for the homes with the front porches, the the area walkways, the ball fields, and the historical feel to it. They want to know. And, they're still shopping at the big markets, but they want to support the small shops again.
I like that. I like the historical feel too, yourself included. You're right on in the historical village part of Sylvania, which is really cool. Now this charming little house you're in, it reminds me of like a Hansel and Gretel or something, but this was preserved from somewhere else. This house has a history.
This house does have a history. It's a Sears house. So for people that are unfamiliar with what a Sears house is, it was Sears and Roebuck. So the house was ordered from a catalog. It was sent in pieces to the family that bought it. They probably met the train or, I don't know, maybe a horse and buggy, I'm not sure. Their wagons came over, picked it up, took it home, and built it on the site that they had purchased. So they didn't want it destroyed, and because it was a Sears house, it qualified as another historical building that they could bring into our village.
I think for baby boomers like myself, coming into a little candy store and seeing all these iconic brands I remember from my youth, it's like a trip back in time, and it's a wonderful journey, I'll tell you.
It really is. It's fun, and it's fun to have conversations with people, see what they remember, and for the children to hear what their parents and their grandparents enjoyed when they were kids. And
it's just worth the trip coming into this little historic building. It's so charming, and I love it.
Thank you for your interest in getting the information out all over the country, it sounds like. So it's a good time. It's a good time to be in these small towns. They're making a comeback. So I suggest everybody get out and enjoy it. You're never too old or too young to enjoy the history of your community and find out a little more about it. It's a good thing, and I remembered those things from my childhood, sitting on the front porch with my grandmother in a little small town here in Ohio. and then walking over to the candy store after. But that's how I earned my fair money to go to the county fair, was to sit with her and shuck the corn and do all those summer and pull the weeds in the garden.
Those are fascinating memories.
Yeah, it is. And that's how we made our little bit of change to go to the candy store there or to go to the fair.
You know how I did it when I was little?
What's
We
that?
used to take empty pop bottles
That
to the
too.
store, and they'd give you a dime for each one.
Yes, they
and
did.
you'd get, if you took, then you could get a pack of baseball bubblegum cards. I mean, that was huge.
Oh, I wish the cards were. I mean, the cards are available, but they don't have the bubble gum in them anymore.
Oh, doggone.
That
That was
was
the
the
best
best
part.
part.
That's the part I was digging for. I wanted
We all
Willie
like
Mays,
that.
but I wanted that bubblegum just as bad.
So
So that's interesting. I just kind of figured out standing here what's in part so fascinating about a candy store is that, especially one like you have with retro candy, it connects the
it
generations.
does.
I like
That was
that.
part of the plan, and I.
Yeah.
And whether it was at my home or at a business, somebody comes to your door, you greet them, you say hello, and you engage.
Yeah, I know we were just talking about this, but I do feel I was born in the wrong era. Going back in time, it was a hard time to live way back when, but it was also beautiful in that people engaged with one another so much. They didn't have electronics, so their entertainment was each other. They'd gather around Grandpa and hear all the old stories. I wish I could have had that, and I wish we would get back to some of that.
Well, you're doing that with when you're out getting the history. You're bringing that back. You're letting people know that it's still happening. It's not. It didn't just happen then. I can tell you, it happens every day in here. I hear stories from people. I hear their family stories, their work stories, and I have had the people who actually lived here, a grandmother and an aunt. They're all in their probably 70s, 80s, but they remember going to this house when they were little children.
Wow.
And here it is.
Yeah.
And they have all said to me that the people who built it and owned it would be very happy that it's a candy shop.
Oh, gosh, I can believe it. I mean, that's the thing. This place was somebody's home.
It was.
So cool. In April of 1887, the entire west side of the block in downtown Sylvania burned to the ground. Most of the structures were wooden then, which is why they began building brick structures shortly thereafter. The first brick building to go up, was on the corner of Maplewood and Main in 1895. It was the A.C. Dolph Funeral Home. Eventually, he partnered with George Reeb, who moved the business across the street. The business here on the corner of Maplewood and Main has been many different things over the years. Currently, and hopefully maybe even with a little foreverness, Fiddlesticks Boutique and Gallery. And man, is this place spectacular. Check it out. Look at the exposed brick. This store is absolutely gorgeous, completely restored. I commend the owners who put in all the hard work to make it happen and the financial commitment. There are beautifully restored apartments upstairs. California Yoga is also upstairs. That's a really cool space, as is this. Isn't this absolutely spectacular? Welcome to Fiddlesticks Boutique and Gallery, corner of Maplewood. And man, you gotta see this place. It's worth it. This building is probably my favorite on Main Street, and the oldest, built in 1887. How cool is that? talk about a Sylvania landmark, you talk about J&G Pizza Palace, and now if you like thin crust pizza, this place has been jamming it out for years. I mean, it's so good. Look at this, you can't even get in the place. Wow, look at that. That's just waiting for orders. There's a little restaurant behind all that, but yeah, I mean, it's that good. Look at Main Street, by the way. Decked out in Christmas. Oh, yeah. Sweet. I don't know. Maybe I was born 200 years too late. But wouldn't it be fascinating to hear horse hooves clip-clopping along up and down this street and the sounds that made on a quiet, still day in 1854? Hearing the settlers converse with one another, delighting in the conversation. That was entertainment back then. We seem to have lost a bit of that these days. Why they came and why they went. Why we were into their places sent. Brings wonder that daily overcomes us for what we mean and what they meant. Filming.
No,
Filming.
don't stop.
No, this is the best part. No,
I don't.
So you're entering your third year at DePaul.
No,
You're not? Okay. Where do you go then?
I mean,
If you'd like to learn more about Sylvania, get this book, Images of America, Sylvania, by authors Gay Gindy and Trina Wenninger. It's a great book. It's where I received most of my historical information on Sylvania, and a lot of the images you saw in the video were from the book as well. If you like what I'm doing as the History Mystery Man, I would be grateful for your support. I've got some brand new swag out. Oh yeah, check it out. Long sleeve tees, short sleeve tees, hoodies, all sizes, all colors, available on my History Mystery Man Facebook page. I'm also on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram too, so I encourage you to check that out as well. Mostly I want to thank all of you for your support. I'm approaching 9,000 followers now. Never thought that was possible. Now I know it is. Thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful. For the History Mystery Man, I'm Don Radeball. We'll see you in the next Small Town America.